Did you miss me? Hello everyone! Hope you are all doing well. Holidays good for you? New Year treating you right? Same here. Well, last time we talked, I showed the first book I would review and I had no idea who the author was. The author in question is Piers Anthony. I've never read a single book by him, and I'm kind of surprised I didn't. This man is a major pillar of fantasy and sci-fi, having a career that spans nearly 60 years and counting. He was really popular in the late 70s and 80s, but the man continues to publish work to this day. He's best known for his Zant series with over, holy crap, 43 books! And that's not even counting the several other series he wrote or standalones. The man has published a book with every letter of the alphabet, from anthology to zombie lover, which he states is one of his greatest achievements as a writer. With so much under his belt, I kinda wonder why I haven't read anything of his, let alone find very few of his books in any bookstore. Well... okay, I have heard of the man, but only for the last couple months when some writers on Twitter brought him up, and the things they had to say were... problematic would be the PC way to say it, which I thought would be fun, easy fodder like Elrond. Then I went to a used bookstore and picked up this book, one that I heard had a certain reputation and... well, let's just get on with the review. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, my name is David Popovich, aka the Bookworm, and welcome to Bookworm Reviews. Sit back and relax as we dive into Race Against Time by Piers Anthony. We open our story with a young boy named John walking his dog Canute through the meadow of his town Newton, and he's bored. Everything in the township was overfamiliar. He knew every house, every yard, every tree of the surrounding countryside. That is until he finds his dog climbing a tree. Canute looked very much like a leopard. John wondered fleetingly whether Dalmatians had any leopard blood. No! Leopards were basically cats. He was sure. They couldn't interbreed with dogs.
Ha ha! Foreshadowing.
Which makes John wonder as he begins to pile several items that just don't fit with what life should be like for a good old American boy in 1960. Like the time he mentioned a cat had a monkey tail only to have it disappear, or never leaving Newton for anything, or some of his schoolmates had skin that could peel off, like furniture varnish. Underneath it was tan. John's skin would not peel. Mom? Why can't I peel like the other kids? It's 'cause you're my special little project. What? I mean son. Special little son. That should hold him off. I'm right here. Look, puppies! Puppies! This gets John's teenager mind going as he works to establish his own freedom. He writes to his girlfriend named Betsy, though she lives in another town and they won't see each other for another year. Using a code, Betsy writes back to reveal a shocking truth. You and I are zoo specimens, due to be mated next year, so as to preserve the species in captivity. John is taken back by this statement and goes to explore himself. He sneaks out of his town and discovers the shocking truth, which we are given in a good old exposition dump. It's not 1960s America, it's 2375 on a planet called Standard. John was apparently the last healthy, sane, young, purebred Caucasian human male in existence, and Betsy was the last healthy, etc. female. They were to be mated so that this unique line could be continued. The rest of the populace is a breed of humanity that is an even mixture of other races, giving them their brown complexion. Wait a minute, I heard of this! Holy crap! And if you think I'm stretching, this is the cover showing the back of the head of a standard. Yeah, so the premise of the book is about a pure white boy trapped in a zoo of mixed race brown people in the future and... Stop! I know how that sounds, and believe me, I want to use that clip like crazy. But here's the thing. We don't know why the standards are keeping a pure white boy in a zoo-like setting. All we are seeing is a teenager who discovers he's on an alien planet with people who look just like him. They say mixed race, but not of what race. So let's just put that to the side and see what the book has to say. Or not, because the rest of the book is focused on John's escape as he discovers there are more zoos with pure Africans and Chinese. Well, that's good, I think. Becoming a back and forth of rescuing them, then getting captured, then some bare bones world building, then escaping till they reach their goal of getting off the alien planet to head back to Earth. Which is honestly boring. Mainly because the characters are not that interesting. The only one who gets the most character is John, and he's every teenager wanting to escape an oppressive sci-fi world. All the others are given basic traits outside of their race and gender to make them stand out. The only thing of note is that everyone, regardless of their race or gender, helped in the escape. Then we get to the end. First, everyone starts to get offended by each other's different lifestyles, diet, and cultural standards. Then the first big twist reveals that they were not zoo specimens, but monuments, because the planet's standard is actually Earth! Dum, dum, dum! Basically, they are the history of man, Betsy said, thoughtfully now. His development, his war, his manners, religions, and races through all time. That's an interesting kind of monument. Race against time, John said. Yes, that's why the book is called this. But that's not the boneheaded part. So the guys go to their respective countries' museums because the standards don't want to make the mistakes of the past, to learn that because of pollution, which led to warfare, that led to basically a genocide of all races, that led to a plague nearly killing mankind off, but the small percent of mixed race standards because they were immune. They rebuild a new peaceful society, but their society became stagnant. This did not disturb the majority. But an activist minority feared for the future and conjectured that the same rigid uniformity that promoted peace and plenty and an impenetrable environment was stifling the creativity and drive of the species. Basically, this is what some people argue what PC culture will bring us. Now this is where it gets confusing. So the activist group finds procreative banks of pure races, breed our heroes, then replicate their respective time in society to bring back culture and creativity. And because they had so many fights on the ship over their groups, they agreed to keep their race pure, even though some had shown an attraction to a member of another race. So more pure race people can be made from the banks, then they will help wake the standard world up into a world of action. But they promise to visit each other so they can fight together, but they'll be separate, but equal. The standards were the result of mixing of the races of mankind. The moment the purebreds crossed the racial lines, their distinction vanished. Right, play the clip!
That's racist! That's racist! That's racist! That's racist! That's racist!
Yeah, I'm not going to play nice about this. This book makes the argument that racial purity will save the future. And it makes no sense in so many ways. Like, if all this was done in the name to bring back creativity to people, then why aren't there any other cultures? The book never references any other group than the three mentioned, which is strange because if standards wanted more culture, then why didn't they bring an Italian from the Renaissance? Or France? Japan? Great Britain? Mayans? Persians? Zulu? Indian? Egyptians? Or the hundreds of other cultures that have shaped the world in big and small ways? Or how the book tries to justify it by showing the standard society is so complacent that they don't even know the correct history of the world, even though that history would have been taught to our heroes, so how did they get the right history when it's wrong? Let alone how there is already a drive for standards since several went out of the way to create 3 different communities and want to do something but can't cause PC bureaucracy? I don't know. It's not like the book actually shows us the world of the standards. It's just bare-bone details. Then there are little things, like at one point the group says they need a leader, only to have the females agree it should be a male. Why? No reason! Which doesn't make sense since the women in the group have shown to be on par with the guys, if not better, since in the beginning the first two females John meets know more about what's going on than he did. But I guess men just be better, right? Seriously, no reason! And on top of all that, the book is just paced poorly. The beginning and end are filled with so much exposition you can get confused over what is going on, while the middle drags to no end, giving us little information at the time. Look, peers, if you are somehow watching this, I would like to know why you wrote the story like this. I know this book was written in 1973, which probably says a lot about why it was like this, and not in a good way, but I am willing to listen because I'm pretty sure you wrote a book that supports racism. Just saying. What about you, Internet? What's your opinion about Race Against Time? If you have a book you would like me to review, let me know in the comments below. Well, that's an interesting way to start off the year. But let's not get down in the dumps. It's a new year filled with wonderful opportunities. Or a series of unfortunate events. Like, share, and discuss. Until next time, have a nice day.
Everything